Hello everyone, my name is Adiel Vega, and today I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a different kind of video. I wanted to talk about the best games that I've enjoyed in 2017 and kind of just lay out my opinion on what I think were the best games. And I've narrowed them down to 12 games, and I pretty much just looked up each month of kind of reviewing what games came out and remembering what I played. And I thought I'd just say my personal opinion and picks for what I think the best game was for each month. So I hope you guys enjoy this. If this is anything that you guys did appreciate, I kind of worked on a PowerPoint here. I did some pictures, did some, point little things on the right there to kind of lead me to my points that I'm going to make about each game. And I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to try to make this quick. And if you do, leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And keep in mind that we have a voting poll out for you guys to decide the winner of what will be the first ever gameplay of Lion Man Gaming in 2018, which will begin tomorrow at 10 a.m. So don't forget to vote on that. But without further ado, let's continue with what I call the 12 months of gaming. Now, for the first month, we have Resident Evil 7. Yes, people. Here in January of 2017, I remember there not being a lot of games really coming out. January, from my past experience, has been mostly the slow, the slow start of the year for gaming. And while I actually can't think of another game that came out that was as fun or better than Resident Evil at this point. Well, I can't think of an honorable mention or two. Resident Evil just gave me a really good experience with the Baker family, feeling that horror vibe, going into this mansion, trying to survive with this whole family trying to kill you, and just finding the weapons, crafting things, and just really trying to get out of this house with this crazy family, man. And I remember how much of an awesome horror game this was, and it was a great start for the year and the game that really kicked off my channel. And I bought the season pass because it has won VR Game of the Year. So usually when I see game award games and they have season passes, I always pick them up because I think they're worth it. And Resident Evil 7 definitely was a standout of January 2017. The next game for February of 2017 is Horizon Zero Dawn. Man, what an amazing open world. What a wonderful story that we had to follow with Aloy and her trying to discover why these machines were inside this crazy world that she lived in, as well as needing to battle these mechanical dinosaur things. I mean, look at the photo of that thing's size that Aloy is dealing with right here. We had all kinds of variety of machines representing a lot of animals, from bulls to deers to frickin' T-Rex dinosaurs like this one, or giant condor looking machines. It was a fun world to explore. A lot of good gameplay mechanics, third person shooting with the bow and arrow, something that's become a bit of a popular tool to use in video gaming lately. And I also enjoyed the very deep stories of realizing all these different characters and their point of views of what's going on inside their tribes, and just really experiencing this game. This was definitely probably one of the most successful PlayStation 4 exclusives to come out this year, and I definitely think it deserves to be recognized as the best game of February. Now, let's move on to March, and the next best game for the month of March is none other than The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Man, what a memory with this one, man. I remember this being in reality, and it might be a shame for me to admit to most Zelda fans out there if you're a huge Zelda fan. This was my first Zelda game, man. I really didn't know what to expect from the Zelda game. I mean, I knew about Link, I knew about the Master Sword, I knew about him always needing to stop this elf-looking guy, to save the princess. But Breath of the Wild had one of the most remarkable demos that I've ever seen when it comes to really portraying the power of the Nintendo Switch and what it can pull off. And I really love the world that you're dumped in. You kind of just have all these crazy tools and weapons, and you don't really know, what you're going to be doing the second you just wake up from your tomb and then you go exploring that world. And there are so many things that's great about that is because you're discovering all these different elements and all these different surprises. You don't know what enemy you're going to deal with. There's some guys that you walk up to and you're pretty confident that you're going to be able to beat them in a fight, and then they one hit you and kill you. So just really feeling like, man, this is a beautiful world, but it's kind of also a dangerous world. You want to be careful with who you're messing with in this game, and you also want to make sure that you upgrade your character very well. And I liked how they handled a lot of different things. You had to really kill enemies to get, loot them, and then be able to create better armors, be able to create better weapons, or at least enhance them to become to boost their stats a bit for you to be able to be allowed to survive in this big open world. But this was definitely one of the highlights of the year, and I think it deserves the best game of March 2017 in my personal opinion. And if you have a Nintendo Switch and you don't own this game, do yourself a favor, pick it up. The next game for April is Persona 5. Man, Persona 5 had probably one of the most interesting stories I've ever played. Being able to be with this group of thieves, finding all these different people with different personalities, and then these personalities form the beasts that portray their personalities, and then you end up having like a turn-based RPG gameplay going on that gives you that real deep Pokemon feel, in my opinion. Every time I've had battles, I've always had to remember what kind of moves or what types of personas will go better against other personas. And it's just a great gameplay, mechanic that they have. And man, the story just really kind of messes with your head a little bit, because you as students, you're just living your own regular life. You have your job, you have your assignments, you have your books. You should be going to the library studying, you should be meeting up with your friends, socializing, and it actually benefits the team, and it actually benefits the characters that you're about to use in order to do combat. Every little thing that you do in your real life benefits you. So when you go into the Persona world, you now have these extra perks and things to be able to battle these personas and create stronger personas, or fuse stronger personas together to be able to have an even stronger persona to use against these enemies. And I've really enjoyed this game. This was definitely the best RPG game I've played this year. And if you guys have a PlayStation 4 and you like RPG role-playing games, I definitely recommend this. The only negative to this game that I would dare put is, unfortunately, they stop you from live streaming it, man. God knows if I was able to live stream it and they wouldn't block so many scenes and block so much gameplay. I mean, they literally just don't let you live stream anything. You can't see the gameplay. You'll literally hear nothing but audio, from what I understand. And that kind of sucks. So I wish I could have been able to live stream this for you guys. But if you guys haven't been able to see this game yet and you have a PlayStation 4, I totally recommend it. Best game of April, without any question. Now let's go to May. And the next best game for May is Injustice 2. Man, oh man. If you guys know me, I love my superheroes. I enjoy all kinds of superheroes. I watch all the movies. I watch all the TV shows. I don't miss a Marvel season in Netflix at all. Like, I'm a huge superhero fan. So to see a superhero game with such deep fighting mechanics just gives me this awesome, all these awesome options and different ways that you can use each character. Like, depending on what armor you put on these characters, there's a lot of customization with each fighter. So depending on what armor you put on them, it could mess with their stats and make a difference in a fight, man. But one of the most encouraging things I've ever seen in this fighting game is the story, man. There's not a lot of fighting games that have anywhere near close to as good as a fighting game story as Injustice 2. There's not a lot of fighting games that focus so much on the story and do such a good job of executing something that's actually worth playing, something that's actually worth their time. And Injustice 2 pulls that off nicely. It's also probably one of, if not the best, season pass content I've ever purchased, because they give you like anywhere between 5 to 7 extra fighters, probably even 10, I think, depending on the ratio that you bought. I know I bought the most expensive package because I wanted to get all the fighters, but it's definitely, every time they release a new fighter and you get to play it, and you're playing guys like Adam, you're playing guys like Starfire, I hear that the Ninja Turtles are coming soon, and I'm really excited for that. Each of these characters just have a very different way of fighting. It's almost like a whole new fighting mechanics get added in with each character for you to be able to enjoy and expand the content of what you're really getting out of this game. So that's why I believe this deserves the best game of May 2017. Sorry. Let's go now to the next game of the month, and that is Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Man, I haven't beaten this game yet, but what a freaking challenging game, man. This game is not easy. I remember seeing this game back in the PlayStation 1 era and thinking, okay, this game is not that hard. I don't know why everybody acts like they can't beat these levels. And it really looks easy. Like, if you watch it, it looks like it's easy. But when you finally play that thing, it's hard, man. And I've had some moments where I just got flat out pissed off. Seriously, like, just mad because I couldn't beat a game. There was one point where I was stuck on a level for literally months, man. I think I was stuck on a level for the whole summer. I'm trying to remember, what is it, the Old Road or something like that, or Hog Road, I think it is. Some goofy level with a bridge where a stupid hog just keeps tackling you and launching you into the air. God knows what the hell. But this game definitely deserves the best game of June 2017. I mean, you're getting 3 games for $40. And yes, they're all remastered, but they're high-quality remastered games. And these guys didn't exactly grab the game and just remake it. You know what I mean? They did remake it, but they didn't, like, just freshen up the color, mess with the graphics a little bit. These people apparently had to go back, rewrite. I think they said that they had to rewrite code or something. I don't know. They had to really dive deep and look for pretty much, they had to find like an old data pattern or something and then repair that and build on that in order to create this trilogy. And obviously, for a lot of PlayStation fans, it's a very awesome release to have this year. And I'm happy to say that this was definitely the best game that I enjoyed in 2017 of June. Let's go now to July, and the July game of the month would be Splatoon 2 for the Nintendo Switch. This game was the best multiplayer game I've ever enjoyed in 2017. The gameplay was awesome. I like the whole fact that you gotta pretty much mark territory if you want to ever move anywhere. And when you do move anywhere, you turn into the squid, and you move really, really fast now, just moving left and right, gaining more paint into your gauge and popping back out and shooting these guys. These players, and I'm going to tell you, some people found some very creative ways to be able to use the mechanics of this game to really get some victories in some very intense multiplayer matches. So this stuff was fun. The community events were also fun. It seems like the developers of this game is very focused on making sure that they build a community around Splatoon 2, making a lot of contests, a lot of competitions, so that way you guys can be able to compete together. And they'll have things like Ketchup versus Mustard, or Fantasy versus Sci-Fi, just all these different factions that they'll create, and then you'll do these monthly competitions, and then whoever wins gets a nice little special little update or prize or whatever the heck. So it's really cool to see that. And I would also like to mention that a lot of the free updates come with a lot of free content, a lot of free maps. You don't have to really pay for any extra anything to enjoy this game. They just give it all to you for free. They just update it later, and then there you go. You got brand new content, brand new weapons. It feels good to start the game every time you've been gone for a while, and you got those two girls, you know, the two squid chicks or whatever, always giving you an update on what got changed, what got fixed, what got added to the game. You know, it's a cool, wonderful game with a lot of free content. It was the best multiplayer game I've ever enjoyed this year, and that's why I would even dare say it was the best game of July 2017. Best game of August goes to Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I remember when I first heard about this game and I saw for the first time Mario using a gun. I remember sitting there thinking, what the hell is going on here? And I also was very impressed with the fact that it was an XCOM style strategy game. They had this very, you know, cover, move here, cover mechanics with each weapon having different effects, different advantages, different stats. Being able to use the Super Nintendo Mario characters and work with these hilarious Rabbids gave us a lot of cutscenes that were honestly funny, man. I laughed at a lot of these scenes. Like, the Rabbids were very funny in this game. They had like a mostly very innocent but sincerely comedic way of how they interacted with Mario and Luigi and Peach and everything. And it's pretty cool to see a game that nobody ever expected. I mean, what a combination. Mario from Nintendo and then Ubisoft with the Rabbids. I did not think that a game like this would work so well, and it has literally won and been recognized so much by critics as a great game, and it's actually won a strategy game of the year from what I understand in the Game Awards this year. And I think it's well deserved. It was a pleasant surprise to know that it just feels like the most random idea ever for a Mario Rabbids game, and they just combined two worlds and it worked awesomely. It was a great experience. This deserves the best game of August 2017. Now, as we move on to September, we have Cuphead. This is probably the best value I have received out of my $20 I have spent this year in gaming. Cuphead it's crazy how well the presentation of this game is. It reminds you of those very old cartoons, those very, very old Warner Brother cartoons. I can't even remember. I can't even remember what year I would be recalling on how back in the day it was. It's almost darn near in an era where Mickey Mouse first started, you know, just in color, when Mickey Mouse first became a colored character. And the bosses in this game are ridiculous, guys. The levels and bosses that you have. I mean, you pay $20 for a really good gameplay, well-sound mechanics of gameplay, of running and gunning, and then being able to do a whole lot of parrying with the attacks and the bullets that they shoot at you. But guys, these boss battles are ridiculous. Every time you think you're focusing on one guy, there's another one trying to freaking do something else. It's like crazy pandemonium in every freaking level with these boss battles, and it has caused a lot of rage moments, a lot of tough situations. But this is definitely the best $20 I've spent. There's a whole lot of content in this game for $20, and I'm happy to know that Xbox was the one that got this exclusive, judging by the fact that I would dare say that this was probably the only real Xbox exclusive that has made the best significant impact for them. And I would even dare say it's the best game that they've released. But Cuphead deserves the best game of September 2017. And as we move into October, Super Mario Odyssey is what I think the best game of October 2017. And this is probably the most magical game I've enjoyed. Like, I would remember buying this game and grinning ear to ear from the moment I started this game. Guys, I can't explain to you how much I love this game. I can't explain to you guys how much of a great time this game was. I mean, that was all I was talking about. I remember pre-ordering it like in September on a Nintendo eShop off the Nintendo Switch, and I remember just sitting here thinking, man, we're like less than a month away from Super Mario Odyssey. I had coworkers at work that probably were sitting there getting pissed off and tired of me talking about it all the time. I'm telling you, I could not wait till October 27th. I was too excited for this game. I love the level within level design that they have, man. There is just like you have like 12 levels, and every level has at least 100 moons. 100 moons. That's why it's a great collect-a-thon game. If you know where I'm coming from with that, there's a lot to collect, there's a lot to get, and a lot to explore. And then when you have a big open world with level within level design, what I mean by level within level design is you have 10 levels. You go into one of those levels, but then there's pipes all over these levels. You go down into that pipe, and now you got not a side scroller little level, even though those are in there, but you got like a whole new open area to explore, to find more collectibles, to get more moons, to get more coins. And I enjoyed all the costumes and outfits. You know, there was Mario Maker outfit where he was like a construction builder. There was an ice climber's outfit. You could have Mario running his underwear, even though I don't understand why people would want to do that. And he had a samurai dojo looking outfit. I mean, seriously, the costumes in this games were well thought out, man. And I had a lot of fun with it. The gameplay of Super Mario, it's almost like that whole capture mechanic with the cap. You throw the cap on an enemy, you now possess that enemy, but then each enemy has different abilities to help you get moons, to help you get to explore more of the world. And there's just so much content into this game that's been crammed into this game. I haven't even had all the time to completely explore all of it. And I haven't even gotten all the moons. This is a game that you're going to be playing for a very long time. This is a game that's going to take up a lot of your time on the Switch if you own one. If you did not buy this game, I highly recommend it. It was definitely deserving of the best game of October 2017. And now for the next game of November. And it goes to LA Noire, the remastered edition. Now, I feel like this one may not be an option that somebody would like me to pick or like me to have on here. The reason why I picked LA Noire Remastered is because it honestly, in my opinion, has the most interesting story, you know, based on detective work that I've ever played in a game. The acting was phenomenal. You know, people did a great job, you know, playing up these characters and all these different cases. I mean, you're doing murders, you're doing rapes, you're doing, you know, finding out that people have you know, a guy trying to kill his wife or something. You know, there's a whole lot of crazy situations in these cases, and you playing a role as a detective trying to identify everything and you know, manipulate objects to find more clues and to talk to people and interview them, guessing what the right answer is, being able to look at their facial reactions to tell if they're afraid or if they're scared or if they're trying to, you know, lie to you or if they're happy or whatever. You know, there's a lot of different facial acting going on here, so that way you can be able to identify if they're lying to you, and if you find out that they're lying, you better make sure you have proof, so that way you can throw it right in their face. And you know, it's an awesome story. It's a very different game. There's no real action in here. It's more, while there is some shootouts that happen here and there, it's not really an action open world game from Rockstar Games that you would enjoy to play. But if you're into detective stuff, if you're into, you know, just sitting back and enjoying narrative, this is probably one of best games to do it. And I would dare say that this was Rockstar's probably, a good game that Rockstar had a good idea of releasing. This game came out for everything, the Nintendo Switch, the PS4, the Xbox One. And, if you guys have never tried this game out, I truly recommend it. I don't think you guys would be disappointed to play this one. And now, for the final game of December 2017. And that best game is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Man. So here's the thing with this game. I feel like I didn't really want to mention this one because technically this is in beta. It's not a complete game yet, and there's still a lot that can be improved in the game. However, I would be lying if I didn't sit here and say that I had that I didn't have a blast playing this game. And I love the Hunger Games feel of getting dropped into this big map, finding all the weapons, finding all the loot, and attacking people, and being the last one to survive. You're killing off 100 players. I mean, it's you against 100, other gamers, and you have to survive in this huge map. And every building you go to has weapons. Every building you go to has, all these different perks to gaining health, to finding armor to help you take more damage. And you really it's just an intense multiplayer experience that I've had. And I highly recommend that if you do try to play this game, or if you do try to check it out, you might want to go for PC. I bought the Xbox One edition, and while I did enjoy myself, there's a lot of bugs and a lot of things going on with this game. They're trying to patch and fix everything. So I think you guys, if you guys want to try this game out, go ahead and do so. But you might want to go PC or wait a little longer before you buy the Xbox One version. But this was definitely an experience, a great game that I felt I should have mentioned for June, actually, because this game came out in June. But, I wanted to make room for Crash. And in December, we didn't really have much going on. We had one other game that I would like to mention, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But I didn't really get too into that. I didn't really spend anywhere near amount of time playing that game as I have a PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. So I just wanted to make sure I got to mention this year. Obviously, it does have a bit of popularity with fans around gaming community. Now, we got one last slide, and that slide is, well, Adied, now we know all the games from each month that you enjoyed. So my question to you is, what do you think is your best game? What is Adied Vega's best game of 2017? Well, I'm going to go ahead and click on this photo, and we're going to show you that the next big game, the big game that I think was the best thing I've ever enjoyed this year, is, with any doubt, hands down, Super Mario Odyssey. Guys, there's no question in my mind that this was the best game I've played all year. I think that this game stands out above the rest of what I've enjoyed and played. And man, again, I can't express to you guys enough the magic I felt playing this game. The awesome epicness of knowing that I can sit down and pick a Mario game, a franchise that I have enjoyed since I was a kid, and to see how far it's come. This game was literally a love letter for Mario gamers. All right, this game felt like they took everything that you ever enjoyed out of any Mario game and put it into this game. And I really loved the old school side-scrolling missions, where you go into this pipe and then you got that very old school side-scrolling moment, and you're playing back in the 1990s when Mario first came out. Again, the story, while easily passable, not too difficult to beat. The levels were, pretty easy. The boss battles were pretty easy. But the story of, once again, needing to save Peach from Bowser trying to marry her or something, this game just had a lot of magic and a lot to do. All I wanted to do when I bought this game was be off for an entire week of work and just play the crap out of this and try to figure out what I'm doing with this game and what I can experience and get out of this game. And I'm telling you, it's the most memorable. It's a freaking masterpiece in my mind. Super Mario Odyssey is just simply that for me. It's a masterpiece. It is the best game I've played this year. In my personal opinion, this game would have been #1 pick for me to have as a game of the year. So, as of right now, this is the end of the slide. Thank you guys so much. If you've taken the time to watch this, if you've enjoyed this, leave a like. Hopefully I mentioned some games that if you haven't played or tried yet, you now, have an idea of what I think were the best games that came out, and you might want to buy some of these and give them a try. Let me know what you guys think would have been the best games that you guys enjoyed this year in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching this slide. As of right now, this is the end. I'll see you guys tomorrow on whatever the voting poll winner is. You still got time to vote. You have until 10 o'clock tomorrow, January 2nd. So let your voice be heard. Have a safe new year. And take care. Bye-bye.